Hello there everyone, welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race and Strategy Guide. We're off to the Cathedral of Speed itself, better known as Monza, and we are in some pretty fast cars for the Cathedral of Speed as we take the Group 1, or the mess that is Group 1, around this iconic circuit. We've got 11 laps to get around, we've got tyre at ×4, fuel at ×2, we've just got the racing soft tyres available. There is a mandatory pit stop in this one, BOP is on, damage is light, it's a rolling start and slipstream is custom. So I guess now Daily Race C has actually become the real DRS simulator. Anywho's, whilst the slipstream setting may irk me a little bit, I will give Polyphonic Digital some credit given this is a fresh combination for Daily Race C on Gran Turismo 7. We did do it back in the GT Sport days, and if that race is anything to go by, then yeah, it's Monza. In high-speed cars, there's going to be a lot of chaos. Now, the race we're about to take a look at here doesn't actually have that much chaos in terms of drivers getting tangled up with each other, but there is definitely some people having trouble getting the cars around. Now, one thing that's always worth mentioning in Group 1 is that the car selection is a complete and utter travesty of a mess. We've got so many different types of cars in there. We've got VGT cars, we've got LMP1s, we've got LMP1s without hybrids, we've got Group C cars. It's just an absolute mess, impossible to balance with performance, and as such you have cars with very, very different characteristics going around the track, you know. So we've got hybrids versus non-hybrids, we've got Group C cars that can do 20 miles an hour faster down the straights. It's a high time Polyphonic Digital really need to get on top of this and just separate these cars out to make the racing more sensible, if nothing else. Now, of course, as the week goes on, one car will come to the fore and everybody will be in the same car, particularly in the higher splits. But as you can see on the grid here, there is quite a wide selection of cars. A lot of people are in the Porsche 919 LMP1. We've gone with the Bugatti Veyron because I seen somebody testing this last night and it actually seemed relatively competitive, and I just wanted to try something a little bit different. If they're going to give us a silly race, then why not just drive a silly car? That was kind of the thought mentality going into this one. We've got a Mazda, I can't remember the full name for it, but it's a Mazda VGT something 55, isn't it? Just behind us there. Now, there was two Mazdas up in P1 and P2, which surprised me a little bit, and that thing is an absolute rocket ship in a straight line compared to my car. My car's actually, in terms of straight line speed, fairly normal compared to your Porsche 919, your Toyota TS050 and your Audi R18. But yeah, there is a lot of cars out there that are a lot quicker in a straight line, and that Mazda, four-wheel drive as well, basically impossible to spin. Could be an interesting car as the week goes on. I suspect it will just settle down to be one of the LMP1s or the Toyota GR010, but who knows, maybe there is a gem out there that nobody has discovered. Anyways, we start of lap 2, we've made up a few positions, we are up into P9, a few people getting tangled up in some instance on the first lap, and we've got Brown Banana Jr. there behind us in that Mazda, and I just realised I couldn't defend it going down into the second chicane, so we just ran a little bit wide, gave them the racing line and let them take that position because impossible to defend. And that's kind of what I mean, just having all these different cars in Group 1. It's not really racing at times, it's just kind of, I don't know how to describe it, you know, but when you've got cars that can do a difference of 30 miles an hour on some of the straights, then you're not really racing that car, you're just hoping that, I don't know, it's impossible to explain. I just think it needs fixed, as do many other people out there. But defending into the Ascari chicane there from the Porsche 919 hybrid of Der Adler, and we're going to go on to lap 3 here in the slipstream of the Mazda. It's just blown past an LMP1 there. So coming out of the first chicane on lap 3, you're going to see the benefit of the hybrid for the Porsche on our outside there, but as we get further down the straight we start to equalise in terms of speed, but they have the inside for the chicane and we're just going to kind of let them have that one, tuck in behind them and drop down into P10. So fast forwarding through the rest of this lap, in fact no, we're just going to change. I could see that we were starting to get caught up in some traffic here, so I decided to come in for a early pit stop. So racing soft tyres here, mandatory pit stop of course, and we're going to come into the pits and we are going to change the tyres. I did consider going for the no tyre change strategy, but I could see that tyre wear after 3 laps on the rear and I was thinking no. For the benefit of 2.6 seconds, I think it is, that you'll save from not changing the tyres. I thought it better changing the tyres, much more worth it to have those fresh tyres at the end. Your pit loss is only 14.9 seconds. Group 1 is always a very fast tyre change, as is, very fast pit stop, as is Monza. If you don't change the tyres, you will save 2.8 seconds, not 2.6 seconds. Your pit loss will be 12.1. Fuel going to be no issue for this one whatsoever. So 1 lap later, Brown Banana and TCR Shelty both make their pit stop. Now Shelty was right behind me as we made our stop, and Brown Banana was ahead of us, and you can see we have managed to get the jump on both of them and open up a nice little gap. The one sole Group C car goes off at Lesmo 2 there, that puts us up into P12. And then we're going to have a series of LMP1s having some trouble through the second chicane, so moving up into P10 there. A couple of other pit stops as well. The red Porsche 919 there, getting it wrong on the curb, they're going to spin out. That puts us up into P9. Going through the two Lesmos here. Why have I let this run on? There must be something about to happen. Coming out of Lesmo 2. Oh, there we go. We've got a Porsche 919 recovering from an accident. So, definitely the track catching out a few people. Kind of surprised, because usually the Group 1 cars are quite hard to spin, to be honest with you. Lots of downforce, lots of grip, soft tyres. Maybe just catching the grass, catching the gravel or something on the exit of the corners. Maybe a bit like Der Adler there. Now I guess that car ghosted just at the last millisecond, because I was pretty sure we were about to get T-boned there and pushed off the track. Anyway, when it was all said and done, going on to lap 11 here, just about to finish, we were up in P5, but this Bugatti does have a little bit of a strange quirk going into Parabolica that you've got to be very careful with, particularly now our rear tyres are starting to look a little bit second hand, given we're going to try and do, we've done 7 laps on them so far. Now we were managing to stay ahead of that Audi R18 there rather comfortably, but that instant there with the car jumping out on the rear, this, well, you know, we lost the position and we just decided to get nice and safe and bring the car home for a pretty decent P6 from P15 on the grid in the Bugatti Veyron Group 1, a car you've probably never driven in your life, as goes with a lot of the Group 1 cars. But there we go, 17 minutes 40, so pretty short. I knew that when I seen it was only 11 laps. A couple of Porsches in P1, P2. Hogston doing a really good job there in the Genesis X. That's an interesting looking car, by the way. I had a wee look at the replay just to see how he was getting on with that car. Very fast in a straight line. Got the hybrid as well. Could be a little bit of a sleeper, by the way. I can't even remember the Genesis, yeah, Group 1 car. Interesting. I'm going to try that one myself before the end of the day. But yeah, let's just jump on to those strategy options. Let's talk about what we can do here. So obviously, if you're looking to kind of do this optimally, you're going to put on lap 5 or 6. You're going to change the tyres, and you're going to give yourself the best tyre performance throughout the race. But this is Monza, there can be a lot of chaos. Maybe you're looking to get away from that chaos, so there is an undercut potential. We pitted on lap 3, managed to make the tyres last for the 8 laps on the second stint. I can't imagine the Veyron is particularly good on tyres, so some cars may be even able to go even earlier. And there's probably going to be a few cars out there that can probably do the no tyre change as well. I'm thinking maybe the Mazda LM55, very good on tyres, could possibly save those 2.8 seconds in the pits and not change the tyres. However, I would recommend for most people and most cars, I would be changing those tyres. 2.8 seconds is not a lot. Even with the car that's based on tyres, you're still going to be losing a lot of performance towards the end of the race. And we are at Monza with its big straights, and we have DRS for the entirety of the lap with that custom slipstream. So nobody's going to have any issue passing you whatsoever. So I would recommend changing the tyres, even though it is possible, no doubt, in some cars to not change the tyres. Optimal strategy, pit lap 5 or 6. You're looking for an undercut, you go lap 4, 3, possibly 2. Depending if you've got the ability on the tyres, depending if you've got the car to make that strategy work. But Monza is an interesting one because the slipstream can be very important. If you're in a slipstream train where everybody's driving sensibly, it's the fastest way to go, but it also induces a lot of chaos, so just getting away from that, getting the clean air can also, more often than not, to be honest with you, be the faster way to complete this race. But we'll leave it there. That's all I've got to say on this one. I shall keep my mouth stum about the old custom slipstream. I'm sure I've moaned about it enough over the years that you probably can't be more listening to anymore. But hopefully the video has been useful in some way, shape or form. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.